Since I opened my night shelter in the East End, for years I have tried to understand why this man regularly makes me feel so irritated. I think I found why. I stopped fighting. I've met so many heavy drinkers in my life. I've witnessed their fight with their demons, their past, their guilt, their failure. Sometimes they can put a name on it, sometimes they can't. In most cases, drink is what he keep fighting, of course. It's a useless and destructive form of struggle. At least the self-destruction means that something makes them suffer and they still fight against this pain they feel so deep. Dyson has no hope. So even a severe alcoholic like William Bishop keeps struggling with his addiction, asking for a salvation. As long as they wish to see this light, there's a place for hope. Dyson has no hope left. He does not drink for others' pain. No, I'm convinced he drinks for the sadist joy of smothering all hope. Dang. Dang. Dark. Can I help you?
Another corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick game.
Sorry, can you explain what happened?
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reed.
Did you see what happened?
No. I was coming back to the shelter from work when I heard an awful scream, and there was this man, dead, just in front of the building.
You saw nothing at all?
No. I told you, just that awful woman's scream.
A woman's scream? Are you sure?
Of course. It was terrifying. I thought it was my sister, so I ran. But it was a man I've never seen round here before.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Okay.
You again? What do you want?
The body.
Did you see what just happened?
No, I didn't. And I don't care.
Really? Why is that?
Because this sexist pig is one of the 4 men who blacklisted me. Good riddance, if you ask me.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Aren't you the
Good
fake
evening,
vampire
Mr.
hunter?
Throckmorton.
Yeah.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
You know, the corpse there, that's a bit suspicious.
Did you see what happened to him?
Actually, yes. He was thrown from the roof like a vulgar log.
Why is it that you sound so afraid?
You didn't see it. He was dead before he hit the ground. The strength required to do such a thing, well, it beggars belief.
Interesting.
Who could have done that?
Who? Well, a vampire, of course. Look, bite marks on the neck and lacerations here. There is definitely a vampire close by.
I am right here.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
That's a corpse.
I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father.
Wait, is that the butler?
29 Pretty Orchard Street. That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there.
Okay. But I need to also look at... Wrong one. Yes. We have 5 of these left in here, so... Oh man, took place. Gin bottles from Tom Watt's stash. Stole money. I'm gonna go down the line. How do I get there? Because this is... Ah! Southwark. Okay.
I'll find you something.
These people I haven't met yet.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I come in?
I already took my medication, Doctor. But thank you.
I'm sorry. Your medication? Have we met before?
Don't tease me like that, Jack. Sorry, what?
I think I should come in, miss. I'd like to check if everything is okay, what with the epidemic spreading across London.
An epidemic, you say? How terrible. I had no idea. But where are my manners? Please do come in, Doctor. You are a doctor, yes?
Yeah, what's going on?
So, Dr. Tippets, what brings you back here? I heard whispers you had a job at that fancy hospital.
I told you my name is Jonathan Reed. Don't you remember?
Of course I do. I remember my name too. Gillingham. But you may call me Enid, Doctor. I'm very happy to see you again.
Who are the more influential figures on the docks?
Well, I heard about some terrible illness going around. I would say in that case that it's you, Dr. Tippets.
Not Tippets.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Oh no, I don't gossip. That would be most unbecoming of a lady such as myself.
Is anyone taking care of you, Miss Gillingham?
My son is always here to take care of me. He's a good boy like that, but I do worry that he needs to start living his own life. Why, I would never say that to him, of course.
Of course not.
Goodbye, Miss Gillingham.
Okay. There we go. So 1, 2, 3 more, 4 more people. She has a headache. Do I have treatment for a headache, actually?
So, Dr. Tip...
I do have one.
Do you require medical attention, miss?
I'm glad you asked, Dr. Tippets. I must confess I haven't felt that well of late.
I'll try my best. Here, take this. And please, try to get some rest.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Goodbye, Miss Gillingham.
We'll leave your house for a second. Just robbing this poor little old lady. Oh, hello.
It's locked, all right.
Alright. Ooh, note. Rodney, I heard what happened tonight. I ran to your house, but you're already gone, so now I'm writing this note. Is it true you killed him? I can't believe it. Why? What happened? I really need to talk to you now. Please find a way to contact me when you receive this message. Since I know you're very cautious, and to prove you this is not a trap, let's whistle, call we meet. I'll whistle my name, Jack, and Morris, and you'll whistle yours, okay? That way you'll know it's really me. For now, it's a good thing you're hiding. The wet boot boys are all over the neighborhood claiming they'll punish the man who murdered one of them. Oh boy. Sure. Oh boy.
I know I've got something that'll strike your fancy. If not, I'll find you something.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you need any help?
Rest assured, I will help you, sir. Martin Nightingale, at your service. Please, take a look at my wares.
Ha! Your merchandise.
I don't really see anything worth having. No offense.
None taken, sir. But please, I need to eat. Perhaps if you keep looking, you'd see something that takes your fancy.
Okay.
Show me what you have to offer then, Mr. Nightingale.
We're buying that. That's about it though. What's this? Let's sample.
Good evening.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reed.
Let me be frank. You're as much of a businessman as I am a werewolf, right?
Who the hell are you to question me? It's hard enough to stay clean when you don't have a place to sleep. I'm doing my best here.
I meant no offense, Mr. Nightingale. I was merely pointing out the fact that you're unlikely to survive long if you continue wandering this path.
And what should I do then, sir? Should I join the Wet Boot Boys like so many others? No thanks. I'd rather be a bad seller than a dead gang member.
Oh, you got your morals. I
What
respect
can you
that.
tell me about the neighborhood? Have you got any friends around these parts?
Not really. Miss Gillingham smiles and says kind words, but I know she's lost her marbles, especially since her son died.
Tell me about this crazy woman. Madness is often mistaken for other conditions.
The poor woman's mad, all right. Kind and all, but she has so much trouble remembering things. She's taken me for a son more than once.
She thought I was Tippett, so that makes sense.
How interesting. I don't suppose you know what happened to her son.
Jack. Rumour has it he tried to tackle some gang lads. I didn't know him well, but I heard he was a nice enough chap. His old ma still thinks he's around.
That's sad.
Why not try seeking help instead of peddling your wares? I'm sure there are people around here that would gladly help.
There's always the night asylum. I heard it's run by a very nice man, but I'm no beggar. Not yet, at least.
There is no shame in asking for help, my boy. Sometimes it can even be the best course of action.
I don't feel okay with that. I'm gonna make a name for myself, and I'll do it by myself.
Goodbye.
Okay. So that was Rodney's lost. So what's the mom? Enid? No, Archer would be. Mom's here. Still got 3 more men. Break through, or cut through, but I don't see any way to do
You always ask me for advice, Jack. Why have you stopped?
Oh, Enid. That's so sad.
Are you certain you're not lost, sir? You seem quite a stranger to these parts.
I'm fine, but thank you. Just trying to get ready to get going. I'm having a hard time navigating the labyrinth, but it's fine. I will figure it out. I have the worst time with city maps. Cheapest and best funerals. This will be shorter over here. No, I can't go. Dang it.
Giselle's stolen money. Everyone has some unethical ways of financing their poor.
this? Hide and seek. Talk to the man hiding in the sewers. I jump down there. Really appreciate a teleport. Really nice. How do we do that? Entrance should be around here somewhere then. I'm gonna be wandering these docks for a while. Sewers! This is gonna be a bit. Yay! Where's he at here? He's kinda up and he wasn't hiding out with the skulls, was he? No, see, I missed it somehow. Dang it. Doesn't really give me a good layout of the sewers. So we go north. No. It's kind of more northeast, but I really can't go northeast.
It's locked, all right.
Serious. So I'm near the skulls, but I'm not exactly where I want to be. Southwest. Oh, too far. Those are rats.
This is despicable.
Hey, you know what? You're not wrong.
I have this thirst for blood.
I'm not really sure how to get over there. Let's see. It's like I missed it somehow. I don't know. Like, everywhere I could go is all locked. Maybe there's another entrance and I just need to find it. Dang. Okay. Yeah, maybe there's another entrance. Maybe. There's gotta be another entrance or something. I keep hitting the wrong button. Maybe through the night asylum? Okay, well, I'll go back to the night asylum then, which is... yeah. Not that far from me, actually. I wonder if it's through that way. I went too fast for the game. There it is. Ooh, opium, nice. Who had it? Who had the money? Which one was that? You with money? Giselle, the hat. I'm gonna lie to
You
her.
again? What do you want?
Thought you'd like your money.
I've identified the men who stole from you. You were right. They were members of some self-proclaimed militia.
I knew it! Did you find the money too?
Yeah.
Yes, here it is. They thought they could finance their activities with it.
I never thought a man like you would be kind enough to... I misjudged you. Badly. Well... Thank you, sir.
Will you give
There's
the
almost
money
a
back
apology.
to your comrades, then?
Fuck those bastards who fired me. I'll give the money to Miss Gillingham. Her son Jack was a friend of mine. He was killed recently.
I know you were friends with Miss Gillingham's son, Jack. Tell me about his death.
Jack's murder has been a shock to the neighborhood. A sign that the situation is now out of control.
Why is that?
There has always been tension between the Wet Boot Boys and members of the trade union. But a murder? That's a first.
Who killed him?
No one will ever know. One thing is certain. While Jack was alive, I had one less reason to drink.
Why does that upset you so much?
I wish I had found the time and words to tell him how important he was to me before it was too late. Another failure for Giselle Paxton.
That's sad.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Okay. I go into his office, which... oh, heek. Swear. Man, it was somewhere.
It's locked.
Was it upstairs, maybe? Crap. I've completely forgotten. Ah, it's gonna be downstairs. How did I forget where it's at? I thought this was it, but then...
It's locked.
Okay. Bomb exploded in front of Dawson Munitions Factory. Detonation smashed all the windows of the factory southwark. Heh. It's a miracle only 2 people died.
This must be a picture of the bomb explosion Dyson Delaney spoke of.
I'm pretty convinced that's his office. He just has to close me right now, which is very rude, Sean. Very rude indeed. Okay, well. Oh my gosh, if I could hit the right buttons, that'd make my life so much easier. Well, being if I just do these quests, then maybe I can rest and then that'll be open tomorrow. These are the skulls. Skulls, vernacular term of different species of lesser blood drinkers. Skull seems to be a victim of a vampire attack who survived. It came back as a crooked version of its maker. According to many observations, skulls are generally despised and killed by vampires. The name itself means slave. Maybe why they tend to form small and discrete communities that stick together. It's interesting to note that skulls seem to call themselves this way. More difficult for it to hide its monstrous nature, pale skin, terrible teeth, strange emaciation, dilated and staring pupils. Many have lost all hair. They show wounds and scars, which stay open and never fully heal. Also seem capable of surviving by eating the flesh of the dead. Oh, Jesus. Oh, what? But which one's... Okay, so I stick the fit... I mean, it's really easy just to stick them up there, right? It wouldn't be a big deal. It might save a life. Look, it might save a life.
Are you certain you're not lost, sir?
Shut up, Martin. Wait, what? I gotta go around, don't I? Yeah. Oh my god. I literally do not understand cities. I live in a small town. I understand, like, country driving and country maps and all that, but, like, cities? Sure. I understand next to nothing.
Informing London's inhabitants of the presence of vampires. What does that make me? A double or a triple agent?
There's one of them. Watch yourself!
Damn it! Hurt! disgusting. I hate it. Ow!
God walks.
There, now you're dead. I did it. That's definitely the weirdest thing I've done in a while. I don't know if that does make him a triple or double agent. Double? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking it might save one life.
There's safer places to be than here. Don't come and hit! Kill it! Bloody lynch! Oh my god!
Owie.
Watch out! It's fast.
God!
Done. Mr. Throgmorton should be happy.
Southwark. Yeah, I get some gin. Take that. Oh, well. You're dead, so I'm just gonna loot all your crap. Up there? Alrighty then. So there's a way through. They go down and around.
Good evening, young man.
Anything new to talk to you about since I'm here? No.
Goodbye.
See you, Martin. Good luck. Ranks. You're king and country nature. Okay, come on.
Stupid beast! He's dead!
Hold on. Yeah, just be like. Shit, that was quick. Whoa, Jesus, what the fuck? Where did he go? Give me blood. Dead. Bullshit. Stress is fucking real. Okay. Fuck, that was hard. Oh, bullets. Nice. I assume there's actually some around here. Since they so nicely put a giant beast, yeah.
Tom has so much alcohol, he could keep this district afloat for quite some time.
Oh, it's important. I don't blame Tom. This newspaper article say, youth arrested for attempted murder. Last night, Tom Watts. Tom was arrested by the police for attempted murder. Suspect was spotted standing for the restaurant, putting a gun at customers for about 1 minute without firing. 2 witnesses promptly reported his behavior. He was arrested without incident, but refused to give any explanation for his actions and only gave his name. Guy went to jail for a few years. Didn't have the gun, but it was loaded. Interesting. Why? Let's make questions now. What's this way? Do that. Okay. Well, that's done. Look at all this. Okay. Turquoise turtle. Tom, I have some questions.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't empty. It was inhabited with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewin guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom. Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
I apologize, Doctor, but it's just that I prefer to avoid the law, its enforcers, and all manner of thugs in uniform.
Here is your booze. I hope it will appease your customers. Just try not to kill anyone with this poison of yours.
Believe me, Doctor, most of my customers are less agreeable when sober.
Interesting. What to ask?
Tell me about your arrest for attempted murder, Tom.
I tried to kill someone. I got arrested. I paid my debt and I have nothing to hide.
So you mean your customers know about your sordid past?
Yeah, why do you think this is the last pub open? I have nothing to hide and I don't judge. That's a relief for many round here.
Do you think prison changed you? Made you a better man?
Oh, I don't know about that. All I brought back is bad memories, scars, and an ugly tattoo of a blue turtle.
But do you feel cleansed of your sins?
All I know is that I'm at peace. I did what I did, but I wouldn't do it again. Does that make me a better man? I don't know.
Okay.
Why not leave town and start a new life after you got out of jail?
I grew up in the East End. This is where my roots are. This is where I want to help others and die, eventually.
Do you think the docks will always be a hive of scum and villainy?
As long as poverty and fear run the show, I don't see how it would change. Misery loves company, as they say.
That's true.
Don't you feel threatened, staying in such a violent and criminal neighborhood?
I've made peace with my violent past, Dr. Reed. I may not be a pacifist, but I'm not angry anymore.
You attempted murder. Give me some details.
I was given an order to kill. I was an obedient gang member at the time. A proud, wet boot boy.
Why did you join the gang?
Because I finally felt useful. Do you have any idea what it means to feel respected when the rest of the world shits on you?
So you were ordered to kill someone. What happened then?
I don't know if you can possibly understand, but I couldn't kill him. I just stood there pointing my gun. Someone saw me. I gave up.
Why couldn't you shoot?
My target was eating in that fancy restaurant with mirrors and music. He was eating, drinking, laughing. He was having such a good time. I hated him for his bottomless appetite and easy life of easy pickings. And then something happened.
You refused to kill him because you wanted to feel some of that happiness yourself. You empathized with him.
Exactly. The man was a bloody landlord who rented overpriced flats. A selfish bastard. But he made me smile. And I was no different from him.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. One more hint I gotta get out of
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Still haven't harvested a single person yet.
Should have offered a drink to the boy. Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Oh, you're that doctor.
Yeah.
Is it true Sean Hampton saved your life?
Yep. The sad saint grabbed my soggy ass and brought me back to the pier after I fell into the canal. I was a wreck back then.
Were you thankful for what he did for you?
Sean Hampton really acted like a saint that day. But I suppose I'm just another lost soul who doesn't deserve to be saved.
No, that was it.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Shut the turquoise for a time.
Well, let's see. We'll do his quest next.
To every night, a darkness.
Is this isn't how I get to South. Oh, okay, there's a bridge, big bridge over here. That bridge. That's how I do it. Suffolk? I don't know how to say it. Southwark, I'm guessing. Just rob that corpse for a minute. Sorry, guys.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Hey, you're really low in blood there for me.
I have this thirst for blood.
This is no place for you, sir.
Right out the gate.
Turn around, sir. This one's mine! Too strong!
Dang! Stop it! There. Right at the frickin'. It's called Delaney or something. Fucking everywhere. Okay. What was it called again? Oh my god, where is it? Deadly bombing. Okay, it was Dawson and Dawson's munition factory.
There's one of them vermin!
God. They're just so annoying. Anyway, Dawson and Dawson munitions. There's a gate there I can go through.
Still my fucking beast!
Fucking God, would you stop? There. windows. There's gotta be through these gates then.
This place looks like the picture I saw of the bomb site.
Dawson and Dawson.
Yes. The place has changed since the explosion, but it was definitely here. I should find some way to pay my respects.
Flowers. There's a hideout right there. That's really handy.
May all who suffered from this tragedy find or rest in peace.
Okay, and then Dyson is done. Huh, what? There it goes. Okay, did that one. Do this one. Go the other way. Come on, Reed.
This place. Rain may have washed away the blood, but not the memory. My poor Mary.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mary. Well, boys, but your last message. Consider your mission to loot corpses. I'll only say one, deal with it. I'm glad I don't report you to Edwina. She might go there herself to cut your balls off. A little bird told me you made a few jokes about what I saw by the pier. So now I'm just a loony scared by his own shadow, or a nutcase who mumbles and trembles like an old woman about ghost stories. Good, I like when my boys are happy. Be assured the nutcase will come to piss on your bloody carcasses. Wow, that escalated quickly. After the fucking monster I saw sucked your brains out. Enjoying the following nights, I heard they'll be foggy and rainy.
This is my watch. Damn grave robbers.
Okay, now we go back up there. Talk to Edwina. What if I jump down here? No, there's not like a... Ooh. Oh, random movables. I don't care about the posters. I was down there. But then my sister was looking for me. I killed her right here. I don't vote up. I thought it was down here, but now I don't know actually where it was. I wasn't paying that close attention to it. Probably should have. Okay, cool. Back away from Suffolk. I don't know. Southwark. I don't think that's right though. Have you ever heard a Brit say water bottle? Like, I'm gonna assume that how Americans would pronounce something means that it's not how the British would. actually good on blood. I don't have to kill any rats. Nice. Okay. I gotta find Edwina and I gotta find Dyson. Oh, who the hell are you?
I can fit.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
Do you require medical assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in fact.
I don't know which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with,
Very
but
true.
it's a doctor's purpose to heal people.
And is it your purpose as well, Mr. Reed? I would say it's a convenient way for gaining people's trust.
It does help, but at the same time, like...
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
That's fantastic.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
Nope. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. It's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Find your necklace here in a minute after I talk to Edwina and Dyson. They could be around here.
These people, they should fear. Flesh and blood.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
Not
No,
yet, at least.
it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
I have anemia.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
This is exactly why I made a bunch of random, like, medicines and just put them in my bag.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Jeez.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
What's a mob?
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
I'm looking up what a mob is. Hold on.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the Wet Boot Boys and the Communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Okay, so bob is slang for a shilling. Okay. Cool. Learned something.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough.
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
You should be careful, Rufus. There are things that lurk in the shadows of this city. Things that prey on the lonely and the desperate.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Aw, I like Mrs. Fishburne so far.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
Am I really cursed? It would explain so much.
There's still, huh?
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
The chat.
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
Invite me over the threshold. Thank you. In I go.
Does grow eyes in the back of her head, though. Women are easy targets in these parts. So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
Okay, that's fair. That's really fair.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope Factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter, and no one will bat an eye.
Jesus.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Ugh. Life is so much better now. Can we just all accept that?
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
We can all get the reminder that life is much, much better nowadays than it has been in the past. A little bit easier nowadays. Archer. Sabrina, well. I'm just Dyson? I don't know her.
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Oh, you're that doctor.
I found the location of the explosion, Mr. Delaney. I placed a flower for you where it happened, just as you asked.
Really? That's so kind. I never thought someone would... Well, thank you, Doctor.
It's nothing, really. And I'm sorry for your loss.
What? No, I didn't know them. No car was supposed to park there that day. Stupid bastard, why did he park there?
You're the man who hid that bomb.
I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
We are talking about this now.
I want you to remember the bomb, Dyson. Tell me about it.
No, I don't want to remember it.
Time to heal.
Why use a bomb? What were you trying to destroy?
The Dawson & Dawson ammunitions factory. A symbol of violence against the people. My group wanted to destroy it to send a message.
The victims. They were not the target then.
I spent so much time figuring out the perfect moment. I used a short fuse. No car had ever parked there. They all died.
I sense your guilt, Dyson. Why is that? Did you not think violence was an acceptable political tool?
I still believe our fight was just. By killing an innocent couple who were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. No way.
You made a mistake. A terrible mistake. Maybe an unforgivable one. But that does not mean that you are a monster.
I swear I did not want to kill anyone. I did not hide in the shadow to kill on purpose. That's my only defense.
That's something. Well, I failed that one. It's the second one I failed so far.
Is there a...
How dare you say such?
I love this neighborhood.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Well... So I've got everybody unlocked now in here. Hey, turn this one in, find that. God, so much. Okay.
Everyone's throwing the blame.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
I'm gonna be honest with her.
I managed to reach the mass grave in Southwark.
I am.
It was not pleasant.
Spare me the details, Dr. Reed. All I want to know is what happened to those bastards who owed me money.
They're dead.
I'm afraid those bastards, as you call them, are in the mass grave.
Dead? Shit. That money would have been useful. Well, I'll tell my boys to avoid the place if it's that dangerous.
Yes. Everybody should avoid that place until further notice.
Okay then, Doctor. It looks like you deserve your reward after all. The Wet Boot Boys thank you for your help.
Tell me your feelings about Booth's belief in monsters, Edwina.
It makes him look weak in front of the boys, that's my feeling about it. But ghosts don't scare me.
You don't believe he really saw something, then?
I don't care what he saw or not. All I know is that a real man keeps his fears to himself if he wants to be obeyed.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the Wet Boot Boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that?
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
She's a gang leader.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
Oh. the next one would be... do that one.
Foolish girl and her pretty principles.
Shut up. Place a marker here.
She's got no idea who she's
The Throgmorton should be. There we go. That'll work. Banks. Damn it.
This is no place for you, sir. Cross you! Look lively! Stay back, beast!
Ah!
Yo!
Shit! Fucking ow!
It's done for him! Away with you!
Aha. Thanks. Cool. It's this way. Yeah. And then it's this way. So, yep, they're still here. Figured as much.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance?
No.
Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
Yeah, the corpse.
I put up your public service announcement.
Might as well.
Consider the common folk warned about the vampiric presence.
Thank you,
Vampyr.
Dr. Reed.
Who's vampiric?
You may not realize it, but you saved a great many lives today.
Do you really think they could be useful?
See the sad saint of the East End? How a single man can help so many people? I consider myself the discreet protector of these men and women.
Look.
You've never faced, let alone killed, a vampire, Ichabod. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not. I may embellish the truth concerning my achievements, but I'm
really
totally dedicated to my quest.
You have courage, Mr. Throgmorton. Perhaps that is all one requires to face the demons.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You'll see. One day I'll find and kill one of these monstrosities with my own 2 hands.
Good fucking luck. I failed. Oh well. Oh.
Tell me, Ichabod, why do you consider yourself the protector of Sean Hampton's shelter?
He is a truly inspiring example. Dedicated, pious. His shelter is open to all, whoever they are. Most admirable.
That was it, so.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
Yeah, I kind of figured as soon as I failed the first hit, I wasn't gonna get everything, but hey, most things. See, so that's the necklace then? Yeah, and then... So I'll find the necklace. Listen to dogs. Okay. Let's see, who's in fucking Southwark? I'm just so upset. So we'll go find the necklace, and then we'll try to figure out the hell to get to Rodney. lot of side quests to do down here, though. This way. Whew. And now I'm over here.
Wars never really end.
So it's this whole area.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely.
Take that off.
To cause a problem as to solve one.
Evening,
See a
miss.
necklace.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
Have you seen a necklace?
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Okay, so she's not gonna be able to help me for that.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
Damn, I was really hoping that, like, one of the NPCs would be able to put me where this
Are they
stupid
stupid or
necklace is
something?
at. Oh, I am very stupid. Like the stupidest, don't even worry about it. Where on earth? Hey Tom, sorry I'm gonna rob you for a minute. Okay, thanks. So Edgar was. No
So I
longer
should
is.
shut the turquoise for a time.
Nah, don't shut it, Tom.
The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics, everyone's throwing the blame.
I find a stupid necklace. Come back, Mr. Rat.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Hey, we are almost out of blood. Jonathan, stop being so picky.
Hypocrites.
Goodness.
Maggots and liars.
Necklace. That's the bridge. Not gonna help. Maybe it was a rat at these spawn? Damn.
I can feel it coming in my bones. A hatred. A wave of bitter doubt.
Alright. Look it up. Otherwise I'm gonna spend too much time.
Andrew, what have you done? You should have
Sewer tunnel beneath the docks. That's the only entrance in none. No wait, sewer tunnel was.
We don't need no wars to worry us. People are dying here right on the streets.
That ain't it. I have to find where that was at because I actually don't remember. Huh. Maybe down here? Oh, yeah, this is right. Oh, right-ish.
Hey, stop biting me. I'm not a piece of cheese. You should eat more, Jack. I can feel your bones these days.
Okay, nice.
It's locked.
But I want to go over there, and I literally was hoping that circled around. Okay. Try going back up. Maybe I can get a better.
Hey, stop biting me. I'm not a piece of cheese.
This is so aggravating. Oh, how the hell do I get over there? Nice.
Don't you think Miss Fishburne is nice to us? But I always have the feeling she's hiding something. For now, you're still the only real friend I have, Jack.
That's sweet and all, but that's fucking disgusting. Okay. Maybe it's this side. Gross. That's the bridge again. Oh, what the fuck? Where on earth is this? Somewhere else. Okay. I want to know where the... So from your meet Seymour, the southern edge of the docks facing the pier. Oh, it's in that corridor I was just in. Okay. I expected a whole different area, not just this.
From Seymour to my beloved mother Stella. Fishburne, that sneaky bastard.
Fishburne, are you murdering people? Seymour. It's a funny thing.
Good
how
evening,
weird
Mr.
necklace
Fishburne.
was.
Yeah.
I have retrieved the gift for your mother, sir.
Great. Give it here then and take this for your trouble.
I also found the corpses. The ones under which you left the necklace, Mr. Fishburne.
Ah, so that's where I left it. I can be a bit stupid sometimes.
Have you no remorse? You don't even deny your crimes.
I have many weaknesses, Dr. Reed, but lying about who I am ain't one of them.
You're not a mindless animal, Seymour. Surely you have something to say about these murders. Speak up and I will listen without judgment.
Could be right, Dr. Reed. Maybe it'll do some good to confide in a gentleman like you. You being educated and all.
I'm going to legitimately kill you because you're a serial killer.
Did you take pleasure in killing them, Seymour? All those people, all those lives extinguished.
I take no pleasure from it. Just gives me peace. Stills the anger. For a time.
This rage you feel, have you ever been able to control it? Resist it?
I tried. For my mum, I tried for her. Telling the truth made me feel better. For a while.
You should like it.
Don't you think you should seek help? Talk to someone you trust, someone who cares about you.
No. And don't dare speak about me to your colleagues either. Keep your mouth shut tight. Especially about my mum.
Tell me about your victims, Seymour. Who were they? Why them? Was there a link?
Why should there be? They just kept getting on my nerves at the worst times, that's all.
How many? How many victims?
It's not like I keep records. It happens when it happens.
Interesting.
You feel nothing, do you? No empathy for your victims at all?
You seem pretty calm yourself, don't you?
We're not talking about me.
That right? Well, our calm's the only thing we have in common then.
Why is your mother protecting you, Seymour?
I'm her son. She's the only one who knows me. Sometimes I think she knows me better than I know myself.
I understand you love her, but can't you see the awful situation you've put her in?
Do you think my mum would have a better life if I were dead? She seems so sad to know me sometimes.
I understand your mother's situation. Obtaining justice at the price of betraying her own flesh. It's quite a dilemma.
It might be my mum's wish that I end up swinging from a hangman's noose. But she wouldn't want to be the one who ties a knot round my neck.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'll kill you. I could kill you.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Rufus.
Evening, Rufus.
Creepy ass pet rat
Evening,
that I hate.
Mr. Reed.
How come you consider it your only friend?
I found Jack when he was a baby, alone amongst dead rats. Poison, probably. He was the weakest, but he survived. Just like me with my parents.
Like you and your parents?
When I was 8, my parents died in a car accident. Rumour says I didn't get a scratch.
Huh.
You don't remember the accident?
No. I was little back then. It's been a blurry mess and very quiet in my head ever since.
How have you survived? Did anybody take care of you?
I don't have any family left, really. Except for the good Mrs. Fishburne. She's like my family now.
I know, Miss Fishburne's not going down. She's fine.
So long, Rufus. Be careful.
We're gonna talk to Stella. Okay, should we get off the invisible wall there? Because that was strange. Lemon.
Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Of course. Dr. Reed. I'm not sure the epidemic is what worries people most these days. What can I do for you, Dr. Reed?
Well?
Stella, I know you are ashamed of your son's crimes. So why do you protect Seymour?
I can't report my own son, can I? Not a burden I could bear.
Burden? How do you mean?
They'd hang him for sure. I won't send my only son to his death.
I understand your pain, but you cannot mother him forever.
If someone ever found the courage to speak to the police, I will take my share.
Your son's gone way beyond simply bullying people. He has a taste for blood, and you know it, don't you, Stella?
One night, he told me straight up, in his own words. It was several days after one of his episodes.
Jesus.
Why did he confess? Did you suspect something?
No. I guess he wanted his old mum to help him fight his, demons.
Did Seymour tell you everything that night?
More than I could stand. The words he used to describe his hate, his rage, how he feels when he's done it.
Weird.
Tell me about these demons Seymour needs your help to fight.
Seymour used to be such a happy child, and he is still a helping son most of the time. But when he gets angry, he can hardly contain his rage.
All men and women are born innocent, Mrs. Fishburne. But there can be a monster within any of us.
Do you think he can be cured, Doctor? Do you think something can extinguish this rage inside my Seymour?
Science has only just begun to investigate the mysteries of the human
I give
mind.
it hope. I mean, it's still for kids.
Currently, we have more assumptions than fact.
There ain't no hope then. Somehow, somewhere, my son has turned into a monster, and nothing will bring him back.
I'm sorry. This one's good. Got one more.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
Well,
Please don't stop.
I need how much more for Seymour? One more. Damn. What about that right now then? So, the way to get through there is... go through here, back to the night asylum, see if I can get into Sean's thing again. Down the sewers is the only way I think we can get down there to the side we need to go down. Do you want to try to talk to... Is down here? Oh no. No. I can't get in here. Alright, well, for some reason I can't get in there. I'm gonna try to rest and evolve, and then I guess we'll try tomorrow. 2 hours almost up anyway. Very strange, but we got the rest of the side missions done, so which was a lot. We have someone on the kill list, that's nice. There we go. I always like my watch is right at home. There we go. Let's see, I need to... Can I mark down like which ones are mine? Just revolver. It's revolver and hacksaw. Barbed cultural. this one. Good handle part. Damn. Nice. Damage. Reload speed is so bad. Good revolver. Shock. Firing rate. Trigger part. I need like good parts, but can I make good parts? I would have to buy those. Damage dealt by 10%. Blood absorption. Let's do damage. Spread it out a little bit. I have a lot of that. Okay. I don't have neurology and I don't have pneumonia, but I have one of the rest of it and I've got a lot of fatigue because that seems to be the most common one. For the most part I have the stuff. For the most part. Oh boy. Okay, well. Gain for greater regeneration. More blood to heal yourself instantly. That's a bit more important. There we go. Okay, that's level 3. Damn. I forgot about my ultimate. 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, there we go. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. That's more bite damage. Get my health a little bit. Okay, not enough, but there, that should save now, and then that'll be it for the night. But at least it's done. What is immortality? Have your name described in history of recent children, or irreplaceable at the same time? Sean Hampton. Eternity comes says eternity comes to those who bear divine presence on themselves. He's also known as Mr. Hampton, has known as saint for his unequal empathy towards others, and his constant pity for their plight. Has created with his asylum a haven for lost souls. He keeps the poor fed and gives them a roof to sleep under. Still, the asylum has been closed for a few days, and his last accessible orations took a turn towards cult-like worship. Oh God. Affairs seem to be defined as faith gone adrift. Sean Hampton has flocked that may have turned into heretics. For the first time I know sad saint, people spoke of him and mysterious chants were worried more than they encourage. Sanitary situation has drastically decreased. Yes, that's what. Okay. Poor gets sick now, preferring to catch her death in the stars that join the known cult. Well, Sean. It should be restored only with this asylum. Sean. You're missing. I might have to kill you, Sean. I might have to kill Sean now. Everyone is so fatigued. So much fatigue. I fucking might fucked it. Okay, so I've got 1. That's cold. Fatigue. 1, 2, 3. 3 there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a cold. I wanted more cold. I had 2 colds. 3 colds. You know, I thought I was doing the right thing, and I'm not. Not at all. Not even close. So, well, I might have to go kill Sean now. Let's see if he'll let me in real quick. Let's see if he'll let me in. Sean, let me in. I might be killing you, Sean. Motherfucker, Sean. Rat bastard. What the fuck? Okay. I guess I better fucking do a lot of shit then. Come back. Holy crap. I have 3 events in this one area. I still gotta go kill Dorothea, who's up there. I think I'm strong enough to do that now. I have to cure all these people and then still try to do missions, so it's a lot. Alright, well, I'm gonna sign off for the night. Have a good night. Bye.